James drives, gets in the paint, puts it up, and puts it in.
Get settled in, folks, because today we are jumping straight into some high-stakes sports drama. Seriously high stakes. We're talking Game 7, the 2025 NBA Finals, Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers, winner takes all. So our mission here is to really unpack the journey, this wild ride that got us to this deciding moment. We'll dissect the key factors, look at the history, because this is pretty rare. We've got a whole stack of fresh sources ready. Let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really interesting here isn't just the scores, not just the stats. It's digging into the why. Why has this series been so unpredictable? What are the real lessons here about pressure, about resilience? That's what we want to explore.
You mentioned unpredictable, and illogical was another word you used. I mean, think back before Game 1. The expectations were... oh, they were totally different, weren't they?
Oh, completely different. Our sources show the Thunder, coming off that amazing 68-win season. They've got the MVP shy Gilgeous-Alexander. Everyone had them as heavy favorites. And then the Pacers. I mean, most predictions had them maybe squeaking into the play-in tournament.
Right.
18 fewer wins than OKC in the regular season.
It really felt like OKC's series to lose on paper.
Absolutely. Foregone conclusion for many.
But man, those predictions just got blown up almost right away. Like you said, illogical. Game 1, I mean, OKC looked like they had it sealed, and then Tyrese Halliburton hits that huge three with, 0.3 seconds left? That just set the tone, didn't it? Defying logic from the jump.
It really did, and it's been this back and forth, almost like a psychological battle ever since. Remember Game 3? The Pacers kind of roughed up the Thunder, then OKC comes back strong, wins Games 4 and 5 pretty handily. You start thinking, okay, this is it. Thunder are closing it out now.
Right, series over.
Exactly. But then, Game 6. Just when you think you've got a handle on it, the Pacers deliver this. This shockwave. They just obliterated them.
Obliterated is definitely the word. A 108-91 win, leading by as much as 31. That wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Looking back at that game, what jumps out to you the most? Was there one thing that just felt completely unexpected?
Well, I think you have to start with Tyrese Halliburton. The injury story there is pretty incredible. He strains his calf in Game 5, scores only 4 points, misses every shot he takes, looks really hampered.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Right. But then Game 6, he gutted through it, played 23 minutes, gets 14 points, 5 assists. And crucially, because they had such a huge lead, he didn't have to overdo it, didn't have to tax himself too much. So now he gets 2 full days of rest for Game 7, which is massive. He called himself a soldier. I said he beat himself up if he didn't try.
Wow.
That kind of grit, especially coming off an injury, it does more than just score points. It really sets a tone for the whole team, shows what's required.
That's immense. And there was that one play too, right? The one that seemed to just capture the whole mood of Game 6 for Indiana.
Oh, yeah. That Halliburton steal right before halftime, the no-look pass to Siakam for that huge dunk over Jalen Williams.
That was electric.
Gave them a 20-point lead going into the half, and you can just see it, like the report said, a real shot of confidence and swagger.
But it wasn't just Halliburton. The Pacers' bench was huge. Obi Toppin led the scoring with 20, hit 4 threes. Nembhard had 17. And T.J. McConnell, maybe the star of the show, honestly.
Yeah. 12
points, 9 boards, 6 assists, 4 steals. Just constant pressure, causing problems for OKC all night.
And on the flip side, while Indiana's clicking, OKC just had, an uncharacteristically sloppy night, as the sources put it. 21 turnovers. That's their highest this postseason. SGA himself had 8, a playoff career high for him in turnovers.
That's rough.
And the shooting. Oh boy, 8 for 30 from 3. They were 1 for 11 in the first half from deep. Just couldn't buy a basket. Coach Daniel even pulled his starters in the fourth. And SGA didn't mince words after, did he? Just flat out said, we sucked. We got exactly what we deserved. Yeah, total struggle for OKC. And, that kind of honesty from your star player, your MVP, it tells you how much that loss stung.
Definitely. A real shocker, that Game 6. It just underlines what Halliburton talked about, right? How these games come down to the margins. What exactly are those margins when we're talking about a finals Game 7, how they played out so far?
Yeah, that's a great point. In a series this tight, this back and forth, it really does boil down to those small details, those moments where one team just gets a tiny edge. And one huge margin, maybe the most critical one, has been the turnover battle. They swung the momentum back and forth. Look at the Pacers' wins, their last 2 finals wins specifically. They averaged, just 12.5 turnovers.
Okay.
Compare that to their 3 losses. They averaged 18 turnovers in those games. Game 5 was brutal. 22 turnovers total, 7 in the first quarter, 8 in the fourth. That just killed them.
Wow. Yeah. Can't win like that.
Yeah.
But game 6 was the complete opposite for them, turnover-wise.
Yeah, totally flipped. 0 turnovers in the first quarter of Game 6. Only 2 by halftime. Just 7 by the end of the third quarter. That's incredibly clean basketball under pressure. Meanwhile, OKC coughed it up 23 times. And those turnovers led directly to 32 points for Indiana. That points off turnovers margin. Almost the same as the final score difference.
That's massive.
It really is. And it's not just the number, right? It shows composure, discipline, or the lack of it when the pressure's highest. It's a real window into a team's mindset.
And usually OKC is the team forcing those mistakes. They average like 3 more forced turnovers than their opponent in their playoff wins. But game 6, that script just came totally flipped. So looking ahead now to game 7, who wins that turnover battle? And maybe beyond the stats, what are you looking for early on? Like the little things that show who's setting the physical tone.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The turnover battle is huge, obviously dictates possessions, but physicality. Yeah, watch the hustle plays. Who's diving for loose balls? Who's crashing the offensive glass, getting second chances? Who's getting to the free throw line?
Right, the gritty stuff.
Exactly. How aggressively are they closing out on shooters? Are they attacking the paint or settling? Those are the margins that add up. And the stakes. I mean, SGA summed it up perfectly, didn't he? 1 game for everything you ever dreamed of. Win, you get it all. Lose, you get nothing. That's pressure.
And here's the kicker. This ultimate game, game 7, it's in Oklahoma City. Remember their home record. League best 35-6 during the regular season. They're 10-2 at home in these playoffs.
Yeah, that building's going to be insane.
And those 2 home playoff losses they had, both came down to the wire, the closing seconds. One was that Halliburton game 1 winner. That home crowd, that's a real factor. Does it make OKC feel almost inevitable?
Well, the odds makers certainly think that home court is huge. Looking at the lines, OKC is an 8.5 point favorite, minus 375 on the money line.
Wow, heavy favorites.
Yeah, meaning you'd have to bet $375 just to win $100 on them. Shows a lot of confidence. But you just can't count out these Pacers, can you? They have this uncanny resolve, as one source put it. They just keep defying expectations over and over. And both these teams are young, which adds another layer. Even Coach Carlisle admitted it's a monumental challenge playing, quote, the best team on the planet on their floor. So yeah, odds favor OKC, but Indiana specializes in making things interesting.
That's true. They've definitely earned respect. But you also have to factor in OKC's ability to bounce back, right? Their track record after a loss this season is incredible. What is it, 18-2 after a loss?
Yeah.
And they're a perfect 6-0 after losses in these playoffs.
That's resilience right there.
Plus, they won a Game 7 already this postseason against Denver.
Yeah.
And it wasn't close, 125-93. They know how to respond in these must-win situations. Well, they just clamped down defensively this time.
You absolutely have to expect adjustments from Coach Daigneault. Ball security, defensive intensity right from the tip. That'll be the focus after Game 6, no question. And, you know, what makes all this even more compelling is just how rare this is. A finals Game 7. It's been 9 years since the last one, 2016. Looking back historically, there have only been 19 finals Game 7s ever.
Right.
That really tells you the weight of this moment. It's not just playing for a title, it's playing for a spot in history.
19. Wow. When you put it like that, it really hits home. This is special territory.
And if you zoom out even further, across all playoff rounds, there have been 155 Game 7s in NBA history. Only 6 of those went to overtime, just 1 went to double OT. So they tend to be incredibly tight right down to the wire.
Makes sense.
But here's something for Pacers fans. The road team has actually won 40 of those 155 Game 7s, so it's not impossible.
Okay, a glimmer of hope there.
And this year, 2025 is pretty unusual too. It's only the 10th season ever to have 4 Game 7s across the whole playoffs. As for the teams themselves, OKC is 7-5 all time in Game 7s. Indiana is 4-6.
That history is fascinating.
Yeah.
And it immediately makes you think of those legendary finals Game 7s,
Hey.
right? The ones everyone remembers. Like 2016 is the obvious one. Cavs Warriors. Cleveland down 3-1. LeBron's triple-double, the block, Kyrie's shot. Just iconic.
Forgettable.
Then 2013, Heat Spurs, LeBron going off for 37. 2010, Lakers Celtics, that gritty win with Kobe and Pau Gasol grabbing every rebound.
Classic rivalry finish.
And even further back, 1988, Lakers Pistons, James Worthy's huge triple-double. 1994, Rockets Knicks, Hakeem Olajuwon just dominating. What all those games show, I think, is, yeah, talent matters, but it often comes down to one player stepping up huge, one defining moment, or just one team imposing its will. themes we're seeing right now.
Absolutely. And all this history, this pressure, it actually sparks a pretty interesting debate. Should Game 7 even be played on a home court? Some argue for a neutral site, but others say, wait, what's the point of the whole regular season if you don't get that ultimate reward of home court advantage?
Yeah.
It makes those 82 games feel, well, meaningless to some.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, and then there's another idea. Maybe winning Game 1 of the finals should decide who gets home court for Game 7.
Yep.
Just to add even more stakes right at the beginning. Tradition versus maybe a new kind of drama.
That's definitely something to think about. Rewarding the season versus maximizing the final game's fairness. Yeah, tricky balance. So wrapping this deep dive up, we've really gone through the twists, the turns, the unpredictability of this 2025 finals leading to Game 7. We've seen the strategies, the big individual moments, and how it all connects to this incredible history. It really is everything you want in a championship decider.
It truly is. And, while we can look at stats, odds, history, all that gives us context, right?
Yeah.
But the real magic of a Game 7, especially this Game 7 after this series, is that it's totally unscripted. Like one analysis piece said, suspense is better than certainty. It's about who delivers when everything, absolutely everything, is on the line.
Could agree more. So, as you settle in to watch this potentially unforgettable game, think about it. What's that hidden margin going to be? The thing beyond the box score that decides it all. And what lesson, what takeaway will these teams and all of us watching get from this incredible ending? What will you be looking for when that ball finally goes up?